So, who is the villain? Well, that would be none other than a man named Patrick Clausen, a lobbyist for the Washington Institute for Near East Studies. Now, according to their website, their hope is to see the emergence of a more peaceful, secure, and prosperous Middle East. Wow, that sounds so innocent, right? Who wouldn't want a peaceful and prosperous Middle East? Well, check out what he had to say recently.
It's very hard for me to see how the United States president can get us to war with Iran. Which leads me to conclude that if, in fact, compromise is not coming, that the traditional way of America gets to war is what would be best for U.S. interests. If, in fact, the Iranians aren't going to compromise, it would be best if somebody else started the war.
What? If the Iranians aren't going to compromise, it would be best if someone else started the war? Is anyone listening to this? Warmongering hawks like Clausen are openly calling for the U.S. to strike Iran first in order to jumpstart World War III. Oh, but it gets better.
I mean, look, people, Iranian submarines periodically go down. Someday one of them might not come up. Who would know why? We can do a variety of things if we wish to increase the pressure. I'm not advocating that. But I'm just suggesting that this is not a either-or proposition. It's just sanctions has to succeed or other things. We are in the game of using covert means against the Iranians.
Yeah, man, let's just sink a submarine and blame it on Iran. Great idea, you sociopath. And Clausen, you know as well as I do that the U.S. is doing far more than just sanctions. With the Stuxnet cyber warfare, along with the military buildup on the Strait of Hormuz, seems like the cage has been rattling for quite some time, just hoping Ahmadinejad will bite. But these aggressive tactics still aren't good enough for war hawks like Clausen, who are just salivating to jumpstart the next war. So he's actually advocating a false flag type event in order to justify an attack against a sovereign nation. Can't say that surprises me, but what does surprise me is that these people are shamelessly advocating it in open forums. People like Patrick Clausen, who openly lobby for death, destruction, and want to drag the world powers into a military standoff, make me sick. And that's why he is our villain of the day.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai. Yahweh is the name who the world ignorantly calls God, and Yahushai is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostle of great millstone who ruled well and taught us this truth. And salutation to the Akhma out there pushing this truth of sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai's sake. My brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yeah, the reason why I brought the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11 is from the video you watched brought to you by RT News. It was an old video, came out in 2012, but it's prevalent for today because it clearly shows who this devil truly is, all right? These Edomites, the so-called white man, all right, and his ambitions. And that's why our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you can't be ignorant to Satan's devices, all right? Because these Edomites are the true deceivers walking the earth, these so-called white people. In fact, let's get to, before I get into this article, let's get into 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Let's go to the word devices. Let's see what Esau has to say, how it's pronounced.
Strong's G 3540, Naima.
Naima, all right? And it means a mental perception, a thought, an evil purpose. That which thinks the mind, thoughts or purposes, right? And that's these Edomites. They have an evil thought, evil intentions in their mind, all right? Because they were created that way, all right? They were created to deceive the world, all right? Even when you go to the book of Psalms, chapter 58, and I'm going to start at I'll start at 2. Yea, Psalm 58 verse 2, yea, in heart ye work wickedness. Ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth, right? And that's the so-called white man. That's these red Hebrew Edomites, all right? That's their devices that they push all throughout the earth, man, all right? Deceiving, killing, maiming, all right? Creating these false flags, all right? And then making themselves look like they're the good guys. Verse 3, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they're born, speaking lies, right? And that's the so-called white man to the T. All these Edomites, from the elite, the so-called Illuminati, all the way down to the average six-pack Joe Dirt, all right? Just wanted to throw that out there. So that's why you can't be ignorant to Satan's devices, all right? Because his mind is already set in his ways, all right? Esau was known as a cunning hunter, right? Let's get that scripture out. I believe it's Genesis 25, verse 27. And let's get to the point. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in the tents. Right, and Jacob is our forefathers, or is our father. All right, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are our forefathers, and Jacob begot the children of Israel, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of today. All right, you make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You are the true biblical descendants of Jacob. But let's go to Esau. Esau is our evil fraternal brother, fraternal twin, but he looked different. He was a red man, all right? But when you go into cunning, once again, I believe in the Hebrew, it's yadaha, all right, which means to know. He knows how to be cunning. He knows how to bring out evil thoughts, all right, to perceive, to know, right? And the only thing he knows is to bring evil, all right? That's why when you go into the word cunning, just in the English language alone, what does he know how to bring out the most? When you look up the word cunning, it means having or showing skill in achieving one's end by deceit or evasion. Crafty, guileful, devious. And that's the so-called white man. That's Esau, Edom. And that's why you can't be ignorant to his devices, because, hey, he's going to bring about another false flag, all right? And he's going to drag everybody into this war, World War III, and a lot of people are going to die, all right? And that's just what it is. So let's get into this article. This article came out September 26, 2012. This is the article. This article is just backing what the video brought out from RT News. All right, because what I like to do is I like to show multiple sources. So this isn't just a bias. Oh, it's facts. All right, and that's just my spirit. That's the spirit the Lord put upon me. Lobbyist says Israel should create a false flag to start a war with Iran. And that's why what's happening right now, the Iran rhetoric. All right, because you have Edomites that really want to go to war with Iran, just like this individual, Patrick Clausen, all right? And what did he say? If, in fact, the Iranians aren't going to compromise, it would be best if someone else started the war. And that's what we're having now, man. All right, all these tensions. All right, you have Donald Trump sending the USS Abrams, all right, that aircraft carrier over there to the Middle East with a strike group. All right, even though they were supposed to go over there, but hey, he also sent B-52 bombers as well as Patriot missiles, which are surface-to-air missiles, over in that region. So they're building up for a conflict. All right, and all these Edomites, all right, those in the know want to set off a false flag to get America to fight Iran. All right, and it's going to be these Israelis. Because it says right here, when you go into this article, it says, well, I'll tell you, just to reiterate what he said, hear more from Clausen. One can combine other means of pressure with sanctions. I mentioned that explosion on August 17th. We could set up the pressure. I mean, look, people, Iranian submarines periodically go down. Someday, one of them might not come up. Who will know why? We can do a variety of things if we wish to increase the pressure. We are in the game of using covert means against the Iranians. We could get nastier. And that's what it is, man. And that's these so-called white people, these Edomites. All right? So you can't be ignorant of Satan's devices. They're cunning. All right? They're crafty. All right? And that's in their nature. All right? They weigh the violence of the earth with their hands. And they love to kill people. All right? WINEP is a key organization in Israel lobby that was founded in 1985 by leading members of the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Right, and that proves that the Israelis are behind all this. All right? To provide a seemingly objective research organization to provide consistently pro-Israel analysis and commentary. So the Israelis are behind, okay, these false flag attacks, as well as the CIA. All right, the CIA is involved too. Let's get another one real quickly. All right, this is an article that came out October 27, 2017. JFK files, CIA plotted to kill Castro, stage bombings in Miami. All right, that's the Red Hebrew Edomite. All right, let me go to the point. Says right here, during Operation Mongoose in 1960, the CIA also considered staging terror events in Miami and blaming it on the pro-Castro Cubans. We could develop a communist Cuban terror campaign in Miami area, in other Florida cities, and even in Washington. We could sink a boatload of Cubans en route to Florida, real or simulated. We could force attempts on lives of Cuban refugees in the United States, even to extent of wounding in instances to be widely publicized, exploding a few plastic bombs in carefully chosen spots, the arrest of a Cuban agent, and the release of prepared documents substantiating Cuban involvement also would be helpful in projecting the idea of irresponsible government. You see, so these so-called white people, these red Hebrew Edomites, all right, they are constantly coming up ways to set up false flags. Hence the video you just watched. All right. All right, this guy right here, he talked about numerous ways of committing a false flags, all right? And he brought up all the wars that America got into, all right? So let's go to, you know what? Let's go to another scripture. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. Now I'm just going with the Spirit. Certain scriptures came to my mind. So I'm just going, hopefully this lesson is as edifying. Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart, right? Once again, that's these red Hebrew Edomites, all right? They're cunning, they're crafty. They'll smile in your face, but figure out a way to kill you when you turn your back, all right? His words were softer than oil, yet would they draw swords. You see that? All right, and that's what these red Hebrew Edomites want. They want a war conflict because in their mind, they think they're going to win and they're going to be able to fulfill their agenda. For what? What would it be? Resources. Let's go to another scripture that backs that. Micah 2, start at 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hand. Right, and who's doing that? Who has the capability of starting a war? All right, bombing another country to the Stone Age. The red Hebrew Edomite, so-called white man today. All right, mainly here in America, because America is the one that's in everybody's business, everybody's country. All right, verse 2. And they covered fields. What's that fields talking about? Resources, oil. All right, right over there in the Middle East. All right, Donald Trump announced that Israel. The Golan Heights, is part of Israel. And because why? In the Golan Heights, there's oil there, a large amount of oil. So there's a company there known as Genie Gas and Oil that's extracting numerous amounts of oil, and it's illegal. But but America don't care, and that's why you have the tension in the Middle East, because that Golan Heights is part of Syria. But once again, that's the red Hebrew Edomites. And take them by violence and houses, right, violence, false flags, killing innocent people, all right, to achieve their agenda and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. Right, and they've been doing this since they got into power, since they were the Greeks and the Romans. All right, and then they fell as the Romans, and they came back into power again during the Renaissance. All right, and they've been doing this ever since. And they colonialism, they gained the whole world. All right, oppressing people, killing them. All right, and blaming them for all their problems, even though it's them the ones that are causing, okay, the conflict. So let's go to this article right here. It says this article came out today. Says this is from the mid-prints. With the U.S.-Iran war ball now rolling, could an accident or false flag serve as a pretext? All right, and let me just get to the point. National Security Advisor John Bolton says, he's doing exactly what was going on before the Iraq invasion. America's doing the same exact playbook. Nothing new under the sun. Right? That's how you know these red Hebrew Edomites, man. War is all. That's all they want. They want to bring death and destruction. Bolton, taking a page from Iraq 2003 playbook, sets ball rolling. Says National Security Advisor John Bolton sent out a dramatic press release announcing the deployment of U.S. carrier strike group as a warning to Iran on May 5th. Tensions between U.S. and Iran have risen dramatically, a development that Bolton, who has long advocated regime change and preemptive war against Iran, likely welcomes. As Mid-Press recently reported, that press release was intentionally vague, allowing justification for a military response to any number of incidents, whether committed by Iran or alleged proxies of Iran, including groups over which Iran's government has no control. Furthermore, it has since been revealed that the intelligence Bolton used to frame the deployment and the rationale for future U.S. military action against Iran was from the Israeli government, which has long pushed the U.S. towards war with Iran. And this is so beautiful, man, because you can see prophecy being fulfilled. Because when you go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 21, 20 says, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Lord, that he hath taken against Edom and his purposes, that he hath proposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." Right, and that's these so-called Jews, right? These Israelis, they're drawing America into the World War III, all right? Hence the reason why you have this lobbyist guy who is literally working for Israel talking about a false flag, all right, in 2012 to draw America into the war, all right? This Bible is the truth, and our people need to understand, all right? The God of Israel, all right, he is a true power, man, and he made sure that the prophecies that he had written, that he had his men, the prophets, write in the book, would come to pass, and you're seeing it. So I just wanted to get that point out. Let's get back to this article. It says, in addition, several unnamed U.S. officials stated soon after the Bolton and other Trump administration officials have greatly exaggerated the nature of this intelligence and overreacted. Mid-Press has noted on several occasions Bolton's history of distorting intelligence, deceiving, being crafty, all right? Once again, false flags, all right? This is what this so-called white man is about. He's the red Hebrew Edomite, all right? Let's go back. Be not ignorant to Satan's devices. And continue on. Press has noted on several occasions Bolton's history of distorting intelligence to confirm with a specific narrative or in order to promote specific policy actions, and this tendency of Bolton's was also recently noted in the New Yorker profile on the current national security advisor. Right, the New Yorker profile. That's a mainstream media outlet. It was substantially revealed that a few days prior to Bolton's press release, Bolton had made a highly unusual visit to the CIA headquarters to discuss Iran. NBC News reported that the extremely rare choice to hold this meeting of the CIA instead of the White House Situation Room likely meant that the purpose of the meeting was to brief top officials on highly sensitive covert actions, false flag, either the results of existing operations or operations for new ones, based on statement from 5 former CIA operations officer military officials. Right. So you're literally seeing, all right, these devils making moves. And that's why this World War III is going to happen. So let's jump down. One potential pretext already in play in the Persian Gulf. Right. This was breaking news. On Sunday, reports surfaced that several oil tankers were victims of a sabotage while sailing towards the Persian Gulf near Fujairah, one of the 7 emirates that compromised the United Arab Emirates, which is located just outside the Strait of Hormuz. Fujairah's government initially denied that any sabotage took place and maintained that its port facilities were operating normally after media reports from Iranian outlets Press TV and Lebanese outlet Mayadeen reported on a series of explosions on identified ships in the area. The UAE's foreign ministry later confirmed an incident in the area, but said no casualties or spills occurred, and notably did not provide details as to the number of nationalities of the ships involved, nor the groups responsible for the alleged attack. However, Saudi Arabia substantially claimed that its tankers had been affected by this act of sabotage and that the targeted tankers had been approaching the Strait of Hormuz en route to load oil destined for the United States. So you have Sawyer saying it was sabotaged. All right? It goes on and says Saudi Arabia, like the UAE, did not blame any country for the attack. Norwegian registered oil tanker experienced huge damage after striking an unknown object, potentially suggesting the attack was caused by an explosion of a sea mine or the result of a torpedo or other projectile launched underwater. Notably, the US, UK, and France held a mine warfare drill, all right, in the Persian Gulf just last month, and past Western media reports have characterized sea mines as Iran's favorite military asset. Iran rejected any responsibility for the attack, and Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Abbas Mousavi warned against a conspiracy orchestrated by ill-wishers and adventurism by foreigners. Right, and guess what? Lo and behold, which news agency is now coming out saying it was Iran? Depka Files. Now, Depka Files is an Israeli intelligence news press joint with the American intelligence. All right, and I personally believe this is ran by Mossad and the CIA. This is their way of pushing out a narrative. All right, for those to see what time it is. All right, Iran's Special Marine Unit sabotaged tankers. Fujairah was outside the U.S. Saudi UAE purview. A special unit of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard's Marine Force carried out the sabotage attack Sunday on the 4 Saudi oil tankers outside Fujairah port. Depka Files' exclusive source revealed. You see? So there you go. Now they're blaming the Iranians. So it's here, man. And this is all going to build up for World War III. There's no getting out of it, all right? There's no getting out of it. It is done. The war is going to happen, okay? This is why we tell our people, Book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 17. Son of man, I made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. Why? And we've been doing this. All right, we hear the prophets of great millstone, the despair and power of Yahweh Shemiah Shai have been warning you of what's to come. All right, the apostles who we learned under been saying this for years. All right, that Iran was going to get dragged into a war with the U.S. and it's going to be done by the Israelis. And now look, all right, do you see it being shown? All right, and you having operatives within the American government who are working strictly for Israel, the Israelis, these so-called Jews' interests. So this war is going to happen. There's no stopping it. And this is why we do these videos week in and week out to warn our people. All right? Because you got to understand the time and judgment. Ecclesiastes. It's beautiful, man. This is why, man, you can see literally the God of the Bible is truly working. All right? Yahweh Shemiah Shai is truly working. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandments shall feel no evil thing. And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. You're supposed to be discerning the time and judgment. All right? We're living in the last days. World War III is going to break out. Anybody who's thinking, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'm going to be graduated and have a house and a car and a white picket fence and family, and I'm going to be going on trips and vacation. You're out of your damn mind, man. World War III is going to happen. A lot of people are going to die in these last days. Verse 6, because to every purpose there is a time and judgment. Therefore the misery of man is great upon him. Right. There's going to be a lot of misery, man, coming upon these people, man. It's going to be a lot of death. All right. These red Hebrew Edomites are on a mission to bring about the great war. And they're going to use covert means. They're going to deceive, lie, beguile the world into it, man. All right. Because guess what? This is not of man. This is of Yahweh Bashem Yashai, because he's controlling the minds of these people. Once again, Job 12, verse 16. All right, that's why this book is so beautiful, man. It clearly, keeps your mind at ease. All right. Job 12 and 16. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and deceiver are his. So this is ultimately of the Lord. All right. He deceived the minds, of these red Hebrew Edomites to believe that this next great war is going to bring about the New World Order. That's what the Illuminati have been pushing for, but it's going to fail. All right. But if you believe on these words, you don't got to worry about it. The Lord is going to protect you. All right. Last scripture, and I'm going to close out. Lord will is edifying. Second Esdras chapter 16. These are to you nations, man. Get ready. Second Esdras chapter 16. I'm going to start at 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. And that's pretty much covering the whole globe. All right. Gird up yourself with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. Right. World War III is coming. There's no stopping it. These false flags are going to, cook. All right. Are going to cook off. All right. Spark war, and your children are going to fight in the next great war, man. All right. And that's why we tell our people, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, if you're considering joining the military, you're out of your mind, man. You better get out of the military. You're an Israelite. All right? Get your head in this book. All right? And believe on Yahweh Bashem Yahshai, because this war is going to happen. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is set among you, who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Right. It's coming. There's no stopping it. There is no stopping it. All right. So Lord willing is edifying. Hey, once again, all right, these Edomites are in the game. False flags will be cooking off. All right, kicking off. And hey, if you're not paying attention, man, you're gonna get caught out there. I ended up with the first verse I brought out. First scripture. 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. That's plain. All right? These red Hebrew Edomites, they believe, that they're going to get their New World Order, and they're going to kill a lot of people in order to achieve it. So with that, I want to give all praises and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Wakar, Kudash. Double honors to the Apostle of Great Millstone, who well taught us this truth. Salutation to the Akbar. They're pushing this truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, and risking not to do so for Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the door and keep the faith. Lord willing, us was edifying. With that, shalom.